Studio MAPPA just did the impossible. The studio behind Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, some of the most beautiful anime ever made. It is also notoriously known as Japan's most hated studio. During Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 Episode 17, one of the most hyped episodes of the year, aired on TV at what the animation director said was 30% completion. Animators had been working 72-hour stretches. Workers were being hospitalized from exhaustion. Staff started tweeting, "I want to die quickly," then deleting it minutes later. Animators publicly said they'd never work with MAPPA again. The entire industry watched this collapse in real time. Everyone said MAPPA was finished, burnt out on the verge of collapse, and I thought so too. Cut to 2025. Chainsaw Man arc made on a $4 million budget pulls $170 million at the box office. The movie gets Letterboxd's highest rated film of 2025. Not anime, not animation, film, period. And at the exact same time, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, one of the biggest anime IPs on the planet right now, starts airing weekly episodes, causing streaming services to literally crash upon release. I mean, I legit couldn't watch episode 1 because someone's uncle couldn't wait to see this panel adapted. Right? By every industry standard, this shouldn't be possible this fast. And the reason they pulled this off is not what you think. Not more money, not more people, but something else entirely. But to truly understand how they're doing this, we need to quickly go back to where MAPPA actually began. 2011, Masao Moriyama founds MAPPA after leaving Studio Madhouse, the legendary studio behind Death Note, One Punch Man Season 1, Hunter x Hunter, the whole catalog. So why leave? Well, Nippon TV bought Madhouse and chose profit over people. One production assistant worked 400 hours in a single month, collapsing in the street at 7 a.m. Then went back to work the next day. This man was on the verge of death just so you could watch the next episode of Death Note. Over $26,000 in unpaid overtime. Important staff left, quality dropped, and Madhouse fell off. Moriyama said, "I'll do it right this time. I got this." So in 2016, he steps down and hands MAPPA to Manobu Asuka. And needless to say, history repeated itself again. Asuka wanted MAPPA to be ufotable in Kyoto animation fast. His strategy? Increased productivity. And if you know animation, you see the problem immediately. Attack on Titan's final season only had 10 months of production while also working on JJK Season 1. One director couldn't go home for 3 days straight. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 only had 4 months of production, and still was an absolute banger, by the way. Oh my goodness. Chainsaw Man Season 1 had 13 episodes of the most ambitious animation possible. Then immediately after all of this, they start on JJK Season 2, which maybe had 6 to 8 months of production for 23 episodes with a new director. MAPPA made staff sign NDAs. Some broke them away just to tell people how bad the conditions were getting. This wasn't about talent or money, it was about time, and MAPPA didn't have it. December 2023, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 finally wraps up, and MAPPA makes the most important decision in its history. They split the studio. Before this, the same core animators had been juggling everything. Same key animators, same compositors, same episode directors, and no breathing room to recover. The burnout was imminent. You can't ask the same people to sprint 4 marathons in a row and expect them to survive, cause shit, I can't survive one, my guy. So MAPPA changed the structure. Instead of one exhausted super team, they created 3 separate production lines. One team dedicated entirely to Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 and another locked in on Chainsaw Man, while the others handled different projects entirely. Simple change, massive impact. That separation did 2 things. First, it gave JJK something it never had before: time. Season 3 received a 2-year production window from late 2023 to January 2026. That's nearly 4 times the schedule Season 2 had. Second, it forced focus. Each team could finally build a visual language specific to their project, actually plan shots instead of frantically assembling them. But there was a trade-off. Some top-tier talent stopped rotating between projects, but now MAPPA is choosing stability over spectacle, and it worked. By 2026, MAPPA is now running over 10 specialized production teams at once, each led by his own animation producer. MAPPA is currently tackling one of the densest slates in anime history. JJK Season 3, Chainsaw Man's Assassin's Arc, which is already confirmed for 2026. I'm hype as hell for that. Chainsaw Man Arc movie, which already released, but let me say this again, it got Letterboxd's highest rated movie of 2025. Do you know how crazy that is? Multiple million-dollar franchises all running simultaneously without destroying anyone. This isn't a comeback story. This is a studio trying to prove everyone wrong and rewrite its legacy legacy after one of the most disastrous production cycles in anime history. And that proof truly began with Chainsaw Man. The Rize arc's movie success doesn't come from its budget. It does something special, something most action movies forget. It earns your investment before the chaos. The first act is the slow burn teen romance, meeting Rize in a phone booth during rain, this festival with fireworks. The pacing is deliberate and patient. Then the last 2/3 become pure emotional devastation. The betrayal where she bites off his tongue, and because you spent 40 minutes actually giving a shit about these two people, every moment lands. That screenwriting 101 that Hollywood committees would erase. Director Tatsuya Yoshihara brought his A game. My guy was locked in. Let's not forget, this is the legend who directed Black Clover. He knew exactly how to pace this, and MAPPA gave him the time to properly storyboard it, to workshop scenes, to nail every emotional beat. Chainsaw Man is something Hollywood rarely makes anymore. Weird, violent, emotional, and unpredictable. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 is proof number 2. Director Shota, I'm not even gonna butcher his last name, one of the most creative directors of our generation, has returned for Season 3. Now keep in mind, this is the man, the myth, the legend who directed the entire Season 2 of JJK. He animated in 4 episodes, storyboarded most of the episodes, and so much more. This guy is a beast, and honestly, I thought he wasn't gonna return for Season 3, because after surviving what Season 2 put him through, hell nah. And turns out he did return. And not only is he returning, he's going to be doing nearly everything again for part 1. We are in for a banger. The opening scene alone immediately shows you what that time brought them. 40 seconds of Yuji washing his hands with 0 dialogue. Slow zoom, water running, blood that won't come off, the heavy breathing, the guilt that's eating him alive after killing so many people in Shibuya. Most studios rest this in 5 seconds with those same dramatic fast cuts and like boom sound effects and stuff. MAPPA said, no, we're gonna make you feel what Yuji is feeling. That's the confidence that only proper scheduling provides. Every scene after this has its own visual language. Take the Zenin clan aura form meeting, because this scene has so much aura. MAPPA turned it into a masterclass in atmosphere. Washed out shadows showing the family toxicity without saying a single word. Someone punches the wall, a ceiling fan starts swinging, and for the next several minutes that swinging light casts shadows on everyone's faces. The room feels alive, claustrophobic and ominous. You understand the Zenin clan's dysfunction just from watching this scene alone. When the world turns purple and Yuji feels something similar to Gojo's power, it immediately lets you know how powerful Yuta is. That scene deadass gave me shivers though, and don't even get me started on the Chozo vs Naoya fight, because it was peak thematic storytelling, a perfect way to open part 1. You see, Chozo fights for his brothers. Every move is driven by love. Meanwhile, Naoya fights alone. He trusts no one. And when the clash comes to an end, Chozo is on top. Whoa, pause. Pause. Because love beats selfishness. Also, just looking at this character design, I knew my boy wasn't gonna last long. He looks like one of those background characters that might appear in like a flashback or some shit. The campfire scene with Yuji breaking down and Megami's speech about not being heroes. Voice actors Junya and Yuma are dead ass giving performances that make you forget you're watching animation. That's the emotional foundation that everything in this season is going to be built on. You care about the punches because you care about the people throwing them. Shota's techniques are everywhere this season too. The fisheye lens perspectives, the extreme foreshadowing making characters tower over the frame, the way he uses anticipation, stretching limbs creating tension before every strike. The opening scene with Yuji running away from these cursed spirits, it was insane. The way my boy Chozo came in, this season is peak. Episode 5 drops this week, and the season is already tracking to be one of the most watched anime of 2026. MAPPA isn't winning by spending more money, they're winning by giving people time to breathe, time to not collapse in the street. And now the entire industry is watching. If nobody told you today, I love you, and MAPPA is learning to love their staff too. Peace.